Well. Sitting down, sitting down. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and good night, wherever you may be on this Sunday to Monday transition here at Sketching Past Midnight Live, broadcasting from Olympus Mons. I think the fourth planet from the sun, Mars. If you want to believe that, that's up to you, but that's what I choose to believe. I've left you earthlings behind. It's caused me too much grief. Anyway, really appreciate for everyone being here with me tonight, tuning in and watching, the lovely replay. I got a few things to say, nothing much. I'll probably run out of steam fairly quickly, but I just really wanted to do a live stream and get that out of the way and then do some drawing. As you can see, I've already got my borders already kind of measured out, and that the whole 9 yards there. I did come slightly prepared with a little bit of news, and I'll also show you a little bit of progress that I've had, and all that, the whole 9 yards. So with that said, let's first I want to introduce this new cat that I got. When I got this booger, watch it you. When I got this booger, he could fit in my hand. We got him too young. Look at the camera, cat. Spooky. Look up here. Now he fits in two hands. He's a two-handed cat, whereas he was one. And look at this poor man's tail. Look at that. Look at that little nub. Yes. He's a character. All right, I'm going to sit him down, old Spooky. Come around just in time for the holidays. And let's go ahead and let's take a look at, well, it's not quite news, but it's an interesting story. All right. This comes from the conversation when Halloween became America's most dangerous holiday. Oh, I got to blow my nose. Hang on. Spread the sickness. Okay, so we got this lovely picture of these two retro, or well, actually looks like 4 or 5 girls that kind of look like Romero zombies. Maybe they were going for more of a ghost look. I don't know, but all right. So the story goes on to say the unique spirits and vampires in the omnipresent zombies that take over the American streets every October 31st may think Halloween is all about spooky fun. But what Halloween masqueraders may not realize is that in the early 1970s is when it all went to hell. In the next decade, real fear took over. The media police, that's probably a real thing nowadays. The media, police departments, and politicians begin to tell a new kind of Halloween horror story about poison candy. No actual events explain this fear. It was driven by social and cultural anxieties, and there's a lesson in that about the power of rumors on this dark day, on this day of dark fantasy. Poison, candy, fear. The Halloween candy scare began in the 1970s. An op-ed on the October 20th of 1970 in the New York Times. The New York Times is the ones responsible for tainting Halloween. The New York Times. Thank you very much, guys, for taking a fun holiday and just putting a little bit of life's misery into it. We thank you so much, New York Times. We really appreciate that. But anyway, it was suggested that the possibility of strangers using Halloween's trick-or-treat tradition to poison children. Said in the voice of Vince McMahon. The editorial mentioned 2 unconfirmed incidences in upstate New York and offered a series of frightening rhetorical questions. The author, Judy Clemens Turd, wondered, for example, if the plump red apple from the kindly old lady down the block may have a razor blade hidden inside. So it is from Judy that we have to deal with this every Halloween, of the rumor of the razor blade hidden inside. Some readers have accepted her questions as a definite fact. 2 days later, unfortunately, a 5-year-old child died on Halloween in Detroit after consuming heroin. Early media reports of his death cited his uncle's claim that he had been exposed to the drug in tainted holiday treats. By mid 1970, the newspaper reportage showed that the child had in fact found the heroin at his uncle's home and not in his bag of Halloween candy, because his uncle is a piece of trash, as investigators had first been told. Get off the paper, cat. But on October 31st, 1974, another child unfortunately died in Houston. This time the death was a result of eating poison candy. The child's father had murdered his own son by placing a cyanide in a pixie stick. Another piece of trash, man. The story of the Houston's Candyman killer quickly metastasized, though it had no evidence. Newsweek magazine asserted in a 1975 article that over the past several years, several children have unfortunately died and hundreds have narrowly escaped injury from razor blades, sewing needles, and shards of glass put in their goodies by adults. And by the 1980s, some communities had banned trick-or-treating, while hospitals in some metropolitan areas offered to x-ray Halloween candy. And, in my community, the hospital here, probably since the 80s, but definitely since the 90s, every Halloween offers to x-ray bags of candy for free. And we all have this one person right here, Judy Clemens Turd of the New York Times, to thank for this hysteria. Now, that's not to say that you shouldn't check your Halloween candy. That's not to say that these things don't happen. But thank you, Judy. We really appreciate it. So this has been a look at your cryptid, horror, ghost, spooky Halloween news. Hey, and if you liked any of that stuff, please head on over to the newempirecomics.com website. And then if you go right here, it says join the mailing list. You can hit that button, or I think there's a mailing list button up here. It doesn't matter. You hit either or, and it'll take you over to this. Scroll down, and you just fill this out and, click subscribe. And then basically every once in a blue moon, I will send you a newsletter talking about all the cool Wildcat and other comic projects that I'm working on, and you'll be the first to know. And whenever I do an Indiegogo, you'll be the first to know. So let's check the comments and see if there's anything going on there. Okay, to get us started off, our fantastic, magnificent friend from NTM Comics is here, and he says, hey, hello to you too. Joy Munger says, yo, if we got any kind of fruit as a kid on Halloween, that house was getting covered in eggs and toilet paper. Yeah, it seems like usually when you get fruit, where I live at, it's uh-oh, got no internet troubles. But anyway, that's all right. So let me show you a little bit of what I've done here. I'll probably have to boom stand here a little bit. Meow. Yeah, so it came from this page here, this thumbnail, and This is the next page I'm going to be working on. And so this is what it turned into. I'm pretty happy with it overall. Whenever I do something, I want to strive for Jim Lee greatness, Del Keon greatness, Mark Silvestri at his peak, that sort of thing. Did I achieve that? Nah, I don't think so. But I think it turned out good, though. Live and learn, that sort of thing. And we got this bottom panel here. So to tell you simply what you're looking at is there's actually 2 prior pages that I need to finish. I need to finish. But anyway, yeah, this will be, I guess, the kind of like the opener of the Wildcat Anthology. I've got, if I can move this thing over just a little bit, I got this big swash of black area right here, and I figured I could put some type of writing and the title font in there somewhere, or I could put it right here. I don't know. And really set the mood, that sort of thing. So once we get past that, we get to this page, and we see that get a close-up shot of Wildcat, and he's sedated or asleep or whatever, knocked out, and these little ghoulish things are pushing him down this long corridor, and we get little hints of what their faces look like, and taking him out this hallway, and it looks like there's light coming from where he's going. So now he's taken into this room. It's kind of Frankensteinish looking room. And then we see a figure much taller than the little ghouls come into frame. And then there's Wildcat's foot, and the little ghouls are scampering off, most of them anyway. So that is where I'm at. Right now, what I'm going to be doing is this thumbnail. I know you can't really see, so forgive me, but there's going to be a hand touching a console, Wildcat laying on the table, stuff going on in the background. He sees Dr. Terror, and Dr. Terror looks away. Dr. Terror's over at his table doing something, and then he comes back with this whole get up. So that's the plan. I'm sorry that the camera is kind of all over the place. Oh man. And I got that kitten that I showed before. He's on my leg. I don't know what he's doing. I don't appreciate. Oh, breathe. That was a big mouthful. Okay, so let me see where I'm at. Now, sometimes when I'm doing this, I'll probably get quiet, and I don't mean to, because I'm doing a lot of thinking, just trying to get stuff looking good and that sort of thing, and trying to figure out how I'm going to lay out the page and yada 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 yada, all that crap. What time I'm trying desperately to mentally multitask and do a live show and that sort of thing and draw. I figured I'd tell y'all what all's been up. Seemed like last week, early last week, probably last weekend. I don't know, somewhere in there. I had gotten sick. My son, my wonderful son, he's been sick. He's threw up and stuff at once. But he's mainly had a really bad congestive cough, and he still has a little bit of a congestive cough, but he coughed on me purposely like 3 or 4 times. He's like 4 years old. Surely enough, the next day I get a sore throat, and my well, not a sore throat, but it's like it's dry. My throat is very was very dry. It felt very tight. Shortly thereafter, I started getting a little bit fatigued and low energy. I remember one day um, I felt like my legs were heavy. I had heavy legs all of a sudden. This went on for a few days, and eventually, checked my sugar, and my sugar was like 228 or something like that, which is like it's bad. Now I'm no sugar specialist, but it seemed like your sugar. I think it's supposed to be like from like 80 something to no more than 100, maybe. I'm not for sure. Um, could be wrong on that. So I made a mental note that since I had a really bad sugar episode, where many a year ago or a year and a half ago, where my sugar was so high the sugar meter couldn't read it; it just said high, and I had to walk around to bring it down, and I managed to get it down to 900 and something, and then I went to the hospital, and then they got it down to 700 and sent me home. Um, so anyway, I figured that I kind of look at my sugar problems as like, sort of like I'm a crackhead, except for my crack is sugar. And so I assume anything over 100 it would be kind of semi-normal for me, even though it shouldn't be. I'm talking out my butt a little bit. Just bear with me. But I always made a mental note that if my sugar goes up to 200, that's the danger zone, and I need to immediately uh, get that under control. I mean, if it means walking, exercising, drinking lots of water, whatever it takes, And if that don't work, I need to take sugar medicine. I mean, something, you know. And so, this go around, it was like 228, like I said. So it was danger zone. So I drank 2 bottles of water, and just drinking 2 bottles of water, you know what that brought my sugar down to within an hour? I think it was 100 and brought down to 120 something, which is crazy. And the whole thing was kind of weird because, me not eating anything, mind you, or any of that stuff. Um, Tested my sugar again, and then it went up to like 330 something, which is crazy. So, I'm drinking more water, and I get it back down to 100 and something again. And it's kind of a scary thing, because the whole time that I thought I was sick, which I was also having sugar problems. And so which leads into something else, which is basically, and I'm not really for sure, I'm learning as I go, like that if you have sugar problems, diabetic or anything like that, um, that basically I think if you get sick, it can make your sugar go up, which is crazy. I don't know if that's what happened to me. I think partially it was bad eating, eating got out of hand a little bit. But besides that, I really do feel the sickness actually was influencing my sugar levels, which is really scary, because it's like before, with me having sugar problems, it was like, okay, I can keep this werewolf at bay by, just trying to watch what I eat, not get crazy with it, exercise, that sort of thing. And now I find out um, that if I get sick, that the werewolf can come out. You know, this thing that I don't want nobody to see. Yeah, it's so troubling. That this kryptonite that I have to bear it's unfortunate. Really, really sucks. The whole thing. They lower this head. No, no, that's about right. Maybe I need to move it over. Over. Well, I tell you what, there ain't going to be much dialogue in this panel. Just enough put right here. Maybe I can let the balloon go out. So that was disappointing and all this other stuff, and the idea that just being sick now could potentially put me in really bad shape, you know, sucks. So I took a couple of days and I basically, recovered from that, got myself back into fighting shape. Kind of got behind on drawing and all this other stuff, and I had such good momentum too. That's the one thing that sucks. It's having all that good momentum going, and it just kind of goes out the window. So now I'm trying to build that momentum back up. So moving on from that stuff, I think sometimes I sound like a broken record, and I don't mean to do that, but talking about the Wildcat Anthology, one of the approaches that I'm doing with it right now is I'm trying not to be so anal about it. I have a specific look that I'm kind of going for with Wildcat, and a consistent look that I'm building toward. But the thing is, I really need to focus on getting stuff done, and so you kind of have to let go of stuff. Let perfection go just for a little bit, so you could just get it done. I've uh, I've put like 20 or more extra pages of work on myself. But I had to, because I want to uh, offer a good story that people can really sit there and read, and just kind of pull everything together where it's one big thing. Do that Liefeld nose bit that I've been doing here lately. Let's see, answer some comments right quick. NTM says Savage Kid. Yeah, he is a savage. Here lately, he's been getting really into GTA 5, and he enjoys driving around, robbing, and killing all these things associated with the game. Yeah, yeah. But I'm really surprised, at his ability for working the controls and stuff, because it's kind of complex. And I've been trying to break him in on games like stuff I grew up on, like Kung Fu, on Nintendo, Contra, different things like that. And he just ain't having it. He wants to play Roblox and GTA 5 and all this other stuff. And it sucks, because you want that thing that you and your child can like bond over, like, that you can share together, that you both like, hey, my childhood was this, and now in your childhood you get to experience this. But sometimes, I guess as a parent, you just gotta let things let things play out how they play out, because everybody's life is their own. Their time is their own. Like the time that they're born in, that they live in. Cyburns writes, "Hey CB, I can't stay too long, but I hope you're doing well." I really appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate you dropping in. You're a busy man, and everybody go over to Sideburns channel. Check it out. You know, he's been doing a lot of gaming, and he's also been working on like all kinds of anthologies. He's an anthology machine. Anthology machine. I think he's doing a horror anthology right now. And yeah, so you can watch all those videos, get caught up. Sideburns writes also, I'm going to try to draw on some bigger paper. I've got the right work set up currently. Well, very cool. You know, one thing that I like about drawing on, you know, like for example, this 11 by 17 paper is, I don't know. I feel like you can get really detailed, you know, and I think that's the benefits of it. But you know, a lot of people, I think, when it comes to comics, they think that you have to draw on a certain size paper. I don't think it's really true. I think you could draw probably on a piece of paper this big, and as long as it's something that somebody wants to buy, it's really all that matters. Because nowadays you can blow stuff up with you know, digitally and with photocopiers and stuff. You can shrink stuff down. I know it seems like Eric Larson draws on extremely huge, big paper. I don't even know what he draws on. It's ridiculously big, probably too big, honestly. But that's what he likes to work with, you know, and he gets the results that he wants to get out of it, you know. And I don't know, I'm just adding to that, you know. I'm just talking about paper in general, you know, because I think it's interesting. Hee Hee Horror is my first collaboration. Awesome. With at Jake Tvister T. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. Or maybe I am. Maybe I'm coming close. I'm usually terrible with names. If somebody's name isn't Smith, I just I butcher it like no other. Butcherer of names, breaker of chains. And fix that a little bit. Let's see here. Man, these first three panels are pretty ugly, I gotta say. But when I drew those other panels on the last page, they looked ugly too. But I managed to salvage them and bring them to whatever. You know what I was one of my goals is when I do my nine panel layout things is I try to channel George Perez. I really admire George Perez on how he can take and do 9 panels, and then like each panel looks like he's not taking it easy on himself. He's adding a lot of details and stuff like that, and and it's just great stuff. You know, I really love his run on Teen Titans, especially the later stuff. Once he started, you know, really figuring it out. And so whenever I do stuff like that, where I draw multiple panels, I um, try to channel George Perez. All right, ain't coming out too bad. I'm wanting to get as much of this completed as I can because I want to take it with me to work tomorrow so I can get even more done at work. So I can at least get like the skeletal structure of this page, you know. And then I guess. Let's see here. I always get torn up on the side profile too, because I know you can't really tell, but sometimes you'll see people do the straight nose. I've seen, people like Mark Silvestri do it, but then if you look at people like uh, John Buscema, he'll do like this little bend in the nose, which people have that. It's like, I don't know what to do. I feel like Wildcat would have the bend in his nose, something like that. Um, let's see here. Also, what time I've been drawing this stuff, and I've been thinking about story elements, and then I second guess myself. It's like, oh, maybe you shouldn't go that route and do that in the story because then this is the end result and all this other stuff. But it's like, it's really crunch time, guys. Gotta get stuff done. Um, and so I can't, I need to really double down. One time I've not been feeling too good and been kind of ill. I've also neglected working on the digital side of the Wildcat Anthology. The 8 pages with me and BW Sims. Um, there's, I got like a few pages left to letter, that sort of deal. That's pretty much the stick of it. And I just, when I got to feeling bad and sick and stuff, and even after I recovered, it's just like, I don't know, you just kind of want to sit and do nothing, you know. So I got to get on the ball and kind of get that stuff done. And then that ain't too bad. That's one big honking hand, ain't it? It's the world's biggest hand. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Or maybe I won't figure it out. Maybe I'll just ink it the way it is, because like I said, gotta get some stuff done. All right, so let's look down here. Let's see what we got going on. So in these last panels, last two panels, we're going to have, which I kind of don't like how I've done this. There's lots of Wildcat on the right, and so I'm going to have to do that again. Well, not have to, but that's what I'm going to do. Let's do some more Wildcat on the right. That seems like the thing to do. That's kind of interesting, wonky looking pose. And again, I apologize when I get quiet, because I'm, I like to think as a draw, I'm one of these guys that has difficulty walking, talking, and chewing bubble gum at the same time. Okay, let me twist this just slightly. I would have liked to shown Dr. Terror's face in this comic, um, but I wanted to save it as a big reveal for the whole dead man walking thing. I thought that would be kind of cool, where there's a question of what he actually looks like. And so I didn't want to spoil it in the anthology because I thought that would be, yeah, I don't know, save a little something. Yeah, I think this layout's coming out fairly decent. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got 6 panels. And I think, before I actually get to the point where I start inking Dr. Terror, what I'd like to do is I'm going to look at some Mike Mignola, because I like how he draws these Victorian guys, and Dr. Terror has this um, he has this Victorian look. What are you doing, Spooky? What's going on? Everybody likes animals. I should get millions of subscribers now. Answer some comments. I'm currently working on a funeral scene in my comic. I'm kind of jumping around from pages to pages when I start getting bored or tired of a certain scene. I do the same thing, um, which I'm kind of trying to grow out of that. But I'm of the mindset that it's more important to be productive than worry about doing things the proper way or this way, because as long as the end result is the same, why does it matter? And there's times when where I kind of hop back and forth, and I may do a start doing the panels out of order and all this other stuff. I mean, it's just like this, where I got this double page spread that I didn't finish, but after I reached a certain point, I kind of got bored, or I think I got stuck because I needed to get some reference, because I wanted to look good. Um, and I just kind of moved on, and with this one, I actually penciled and inked it in the actual order that it goes in. So I kind of go back and forth myself, so I can see your strategy with that. Because that is the main thing, to be productive. Just keep getting stuff done. I'm trying to do acting stuff with the family at the cemetery and stuff. Acting stuff. Hmm. Well, what do you mean by acting stuff? Uh, in whose family? Like that double pager that I showed you. I started getting really bored because it was taking so long, and I could tell I was getting lazy. So I went ahead and worked on another page. Yeah, I agree with that logic, because what ends up when you're getting bored, you do get lazy, or at least I do. Well, I guess we both know that we both do the same thing. So it's important to move on, do something different. Yeah, totally. By acting stuff, I mean having them have their own personalities and look alive. Oh, okay, like trying like character development, and they're each their own person. They got their, yeah. I know what you're talking about. It's one of the things that I'm wanting to do with with Wildcat, after the anthology's done, there's going to be like this cast of teens that's going to be in it. It just kind of ended up that way, and I'm trying to figure out all their freaking personalities, and it's kind of like the last thing you want to do, because you want to show stuff kind of blowing up and coming out of graves and stuff. But it's sort of like, as if people care about the characters, then they'll probably care about everything else too. So I'm trying to do a very character-driven story, and I think that's one of the reasons that, when the anthology's over, I want to start working on Super American, so I can get better at drawing and also get better at writing, and and try to work out these things, and that way when I go back to working on Wildcat, that I can really, I don't know, really do a good job. There we go. That was a struggle just to say doing a good job. My English totally failed on me there. All right. Well, Jinkies. All right. There we go. I think it's somewhat better, maybe. Awkwardly better. what what a hand I'm drawing. Oh my God. Oh, this is the bee's knees right here. Let's see. NTM writes, we'll see, these characters are background characters. There's only one of them who is actually a main character who will eventually turn into a villain at the end of the story arc. I can't remember. I have a thought on that, and it's kind of fleeting. You ever get something pop in your head, and it's like fully realized, and all of a sudden, all the everything else went out the window with it. Just left your mind as quickly as it entered. Well, that just happened to me just then. But I guess what I was getting ready to say, comment on that, is something like I read or watched a video somewhere about it may have been Savage Dragon. I'm not for sure. Where I could be wrong on that. Eric Larson, Savage Dragon, where he makes the book, and he's got all these background characters, and then just over time they end up becoming part of the main cast. And I think it's something that I seem like I've read or watched documentaries on like TV series and TV series where they had these characters that were just kind of introduced, but they were basically meant to be background characters, but over time that they kind of fleshed them out and give them more of a story. And that's it makes me think of that when you say that, like because like I said, I was going to put some teenagers in the Wildcat comic, and I was trying to think about like maybe I can introduce like so many of them as background characters, and later on go in and give them a backstory or something. This writing business is hard. Our most excellent friend, Gabriel Meza, says hello to all. Hello to you. CB, have you ever had a chicken jalapeno sandwich? No, I've not. In fact, I don't eat sandwiches. I don't eat burgers, and I don't eat hot dogs. I'm a very, very picky eater, and it's not because of like some vegan or vegetarian choices or anything like that. I'm just very, very not exotic. What's that word? Eccentric. I'm an eccentric eater. Very odd. I am. I just made one of those sandwiches as of 2 o'clock snack, and they're surprisingly decent. Well, good. I hope you enjoy your delicious meal. You don't like cheeseburgers? Well, no, no. I mean, probably the last time I had a cheeseburger had to be when I was a toddler, or a hot dog or anything like that. You know, I've told the story about, like, you see the way I hold my pencil? Oh gosh, this cat's farted. It is awful. Nasty cat. I'll put you out of here. But the way I hold my pencil, this came about, and this story is related to this comment. I'll get to it. But um, when I was in kindergarten, I remember I was like, there used to be these pencils, and they had this rubber thing that went right here, and I was like, I didn't know how to hold that. I was like looking at everybody else, how they's holding it. Some people were holding it like this, and it looked like some were doing that, and then others kind of had some deal. I don't know. Like, I couldn't figure out where it went in between the fingers, and it just looked like magic. And the assistant teacher in kindergarten was getting frustrated with me. It's like, well, I don't understand. She's like, hold it like this or hold it like that, and like, and eventually I went like this after like the 10th time. She's like, oh, like that then. Yeah, that's fine. That's it. And here's the funny thing about it. I think I was left-handed. So this teacher basically forced me to be a right-handed person. so so it's crazy. Yeah, but here's what it segues into. Cheeseburgers. Okay, so how does that relate to cheeseburgers? Well, there's two things that happened around this time when I was in kindergarten. Um, I think the first thing is I got really, really bad sick. I mean, just very bad sick. I wouldn't eat anything. I lost my appetite, and the only thing that my mother could get me to eat is cheese sticks from Pizza Hut. So every day she would get me cheese sticks from Pizza Hut because that was the only thing that I would eat. And when my appetite came back, things that I used to eat, I wouldn't eat no more. My last memory of me eating anything that was like regular food was probably pretty much like raw cheese that came out of a pack. Don't even do that no more. But I have a memory of eating that. But at the same time around kindergarten, when my appetite changed and I wouldn't eat regular foods, I was just eating fries. I wouldn't eat half food on my tray. And I remember that same assistant teacher who was responsible for this monstrosity. She, what was it that she did? She saw me like being picky with the food that was eaten on my tray. I wasn't eating most of what was in the tray. And so she forced a chili dog into my mouth, which I ended up spitting out, and kind of almost like vomiting out. Um, but yeah, it's those things. Mainly the sickness, was the thing. And so for over close to 40 years, I can say that I've not ate a hamburger, cheeseburger, hot dog, sandwich. A lot of it is like textures. I'm very weird about textures. Um, I don't know. There's a whole litany of foods that I have a difficult time with. I I can't imagine not liking cheeseburgers or hot dogs. Well, it's like probably if I sat around and ate them, I'd be like, that's good. I'll eat more of that. But but I'm like prejudice. I'm prejudiced against hot dogs and cheeseburgers. It's like it's a weird psychological thing, is what it is. That's why I don't like pets in reference to cat farts. What foods do you like? I don't know. Chips, fries, pizza, chicken strips, chicken tenders, chicken nuggets, Mexican food, which is basically chicken and rice, um, popcorn, mm, noodles, chicken noodle soup without the chicken. I had to pick the chicken out. Eggs. I like vegetables. I like mixed vegetables. Sometimes I'll take a can of mixed vegetables and just pour it in a skillet and like fry it. I fry my vegetables, which would be like corns and peas and all these other things. Okra. I'll eat okra. I'll eat So there's but I don't really eat fruits. So no apples, no oranges, no bananas. Meh. that's so you got the idea of my diet. That's my diet right there in a nutshell. You like vegetables? This is outrageous. Uh, oh boy, erroneous? Is it erroneous? Egregious. Oh yes, I'm proud of myself. I almost didn't read that word. This is outrageous, egregious, and preposterous. It's true. I do like vegetables. I wouldn't say that I'm like in love with them. I end up pouring salt and stuff. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I hear spooky or spooky. I think we'll shade this. Yeah, I think this page ain't turned out half bad. That's pretty good. All right. Some other things that I'm working on that I'm going to need to be doing here pretty soon is need to resume my creepy drosta videos. Got behind on those. I got one. It's pretty much in the can. I just need to edit it. It's just I really, really hate to edit videos because I feel like out of recorded the audio and put some pictures and stuff in, I feel like I'm done. But like, you know, if you want it to be good, you have to put the work and effort in, and you have to put as much work and effort in making videos as you do like this stuff. And if I spend more than a day working on something, I kind of just want to move on. It's not really good for building a YouTube channel, I know. But that's kind of like my wonky mindset. And right now I'm kind of hopping all over the page because um, I'm going to have to sit down and really think and draw on stuff. And a lot of this stuff I'll figure out tomorrow, I think, and kind of flesh out just a little bit better. And then I may start inking, if I can get most of it fleshed out. Biggest problem I'm going to have is getting the references and trying to get the look of Dr. Terror down here. EBS showed off some of Del Keon's work in progress, pictures of his Cyberfrog 3 covers, looking really good. Oh, that's cool. I didn't get to see that. I know he did a live stream tonight, and I watched maybe like 2 hours of it, hour and a half maybe. I kind of just turned it off eventually because what I ended up doing is I ended up sitting there not doing anything, just watching everybody else talking about the things that they're doing as opposed to me doing stuff. So I had to turn it off. I was getting distracted. Um, but what I love Dale Keown's stuff. I really, really do. It's like a big influence on me. It probably doesn't really show. I think sometimes it does. Most time it don't. My stuff kind of looks very. If I was looking at it third person, I think my stuff kind of looks kind of Cubertish. It looks like I'm not I wouldn't be like a sibling of the Cuberts, like Adam and or Andy, and I certainly wouldn't be their dad, but I feel like I'd be like their cousin, like I'm a Cubert cousin, and I say that not as in terms of skill, but like stylistically, referring stylistically, but anyway, I was talking about Del Keon, and I love Del Keon. He's awesome. Been studying lots of Dragon Force and stuff like that, trying to incorporate a lot of that stylistic style that I used to have back then when it was a little bit more maybe Bernie Wrightson and very early John Byrne. Yeah, he showed it off at the end of the video. Your stuff kind of looks like Sal Buscema to me. Oh, that's awesome. I'll take that. I'll take that to the bank. I love Sal's work. That's another favorite artist of mine. Uh, in particularly, I love his run on the Incredible Hulk, and then I like what he did on Spectacular Spider-Man when he started doing that weird Bill Sienkiewicz stuff. I thought that turned out pretty good too. He never gets really praise for a lot of his work. It's always his brother, which his brother did some awesome things. But I feel like Sal's got a bigger body of work. Hmm. Maybe I can do. See what that looks like. Put in some of these excitement things. I don't know what these are called. Let's see. Our most fantastic, excellent friend, Despain Comics, is here, and he says, "Did you decide to shelve the Crimson Frog?" No, no, I didn't. What it was is, okay, all right, a couple of things. I like to bite off more than I can chew. Sometimes I get bored and I want to do something different. There's just so much that I want to do, and because of that, um, I hop around, and I need to work on that. And the other thing is, what time I'm doing the Wildcat Anthology, I'm like really, really doubling down, and I'm doing something that I don't normally do, which I need to normally do, which is focus on one thing. And I told myself, all other projects, ugh, tear them aside. Ugh. That Silver Streak thing I'm working on, put it to the side. Monster Patrol, put it to the side. Uh, what is it? Blackheart, put that one to the side. All these different things, and just really trying to double down. Oh, also another project other than Crimson Frog was the miniseries I was messing around doing of Hardcase, Malibu Comics Hardcase, and I'm going to complete all these things. Well, assuming, nothing happens to me, but you never know. That life happens. But if it does, so what? I tried. But anyway, yeah. And then there's something else that happened with Crimson Frog too, which is I got stuck on the story. Um, and I had a rough outline of how I wanted the story to go. This guy, Crimson Frog, shows up, saves the day, saves this alien on this alien planet from the Vespus, and then we get a flashback scene of Crimson Frog with his mom, like single parent type of situation, and he just saw like this street thug kill somebody on the street, and then she talks to him about life and stuff, and he talks about his favorite superhero, Cyber Frog, and then after the story or the flashback's over, it takes us back to the alien world where he currently lives at, and then they're going somewhere. Uh, Crimson Frog's going somewhere to go do something. And I know at some point, we get to see the scientist, like this lone alien scientist on this planet, and he has a plan to save the universe. And then basically at the end of it, Crimson Frog hops on a Vespus that he can control, and is trying to hurriedly go to Earth to warn Cyberfrog of the Vespus that they're on their way. But he doesn't know that the Vespus have already made their way to Earth. You know, And so I thought it'd be a cool thing to do, like this kind of like this one issue, this one shot thing, just for the fun of it as an attention getter, and just put it out there and uh, just for the hell of it. And you never know when you put stuff out there, you never know how it's going to be received. Probably nobody would really read it or whatever, or really like get excited about it, and that's fine. But at the very least, it would give him more experience, help me get stuff done. But I got stuck on that middle portion of the story, and so I just kind of that was another thing that hurt me a little bit. Okay, let's see. hmm Okay. Pop, 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 pop. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, I'm going to switch out pages here for a second because I feel like I've done pretty much all I can do on camera with that right now because it's like one of these things where I really have to think. Yeah, really have to use some brain power. That sounds like fun. EVS should commission you, maybe hire you for a supplemental book. Oh, that would be really cool. I'd love that. I don't think that would happen though. I mean, like you never, because I think people will be confused. Like um, of the Crimson Frog concept. Let me explain. Like it seemed like a year ago, Ethan was talking about, not Ethan, but EVS. He was talking about doing doing like maybe like an ongoing series that kind of talks about the world of the Vespis or something like that. And that really got my imagination going. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait for him to realize that. I was just going to go ahead and work on it and just put it out there. just this free book, this one shot, and I thought it would be just some cool thing to do, and I wasn't going to worry about uh, trying to make money off of it because it's based off the Cyberfrog universe, so I can never do anything with it. It is more like, hey, I got this cool thing in my head, and I just want to put it out there. And if people like it, they like it. And if they don't, they don't. It doesn't really matter. It's just I just hate having cool ideas, and they just gestate in my mind. I just want to put them out in the universe, and let the universe decide what where they go or what happens to them. And it's like, I got cool ideas for the Alien franchise, and things like that. And well, I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I got these ideas, you know. So but I think some people get confused and think that I would try to do like Indiegogos or stuff like for it. And then um, I guess what I'm trying to say is like, I kind of I don't see that happening, being hired on by EVS and stuff like that. He's very particular. He goes for these artists that really got their stuff together, and I don't feel like I'm there yet. I feel like I have hints of me knowing what I'm doing, where stuff turns out looking pretty good. Um, but most of the time I feel like it's a struggle for me. Not liking some of this rubble. Need to find a way to some of it overlap. I don't want to get too happy with it because I still got to draw this spatula hand that I got kind of laid out here. Spatula hand. But yeah, so let me put this right here. All right, we reached the end of the video. I got to work tomorrow, and I think I'm going to go play Xbox before I go to bed. Kind of unwind and that sort of thing. I appreciate everybody tuning in and watching, and for everybody that's going to tune in during the replay. And much love to everybody. I hope you are doing great with your projects. And for those of you that don't draw or write or do any of that stuff, I just hope your lives are going great in general, whatever your interest may be. Please remember to be the tide that rises all ships, to be the change that you want to see, and to carpe diem, my friends. Okay? Carpe diem. Seize the day. Don't wait. Don't wait and try to seize your opportunities, when they've done past, because usually these things happen when they happen. So seize the day. Let it be today. As always, this is CB Smallwood, and much love to y'all, and I will see you in the next video.